No. That's a fish. That's a fish and a nice one. There we go. That's what we wanted. That is a good fish. Alright guys, so we're going to make some use of being so close to the water, and we're just going to walk down, have a quick flick out the front, see what it is to see. Plant wanted to go.
A few good flathead there.
Yeah, it looks an area there'd be a couple, eh?
Yeah, but it's just been quiet today.
Yeah, interesting. He's only little, this one. Oh, I don't think it's our target. He might be. What do we got? I can't tell yet. It's a flatty, I think. Little flatty. I'm not sure actually. Yeah. Sand flathead, is it?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, yep.
That's all I use is suicides now because I'm lazy.
Got a massive head.
Yeah, no.
Massive head. Oh no, mate. Calm down.
Like I say, this is winter.
Yeah, I know, right? How good. Why would you want to live in fucking Melbourne, mate? Hasn't been that many brim around, hey?
I haven't got a brim like here.
Yeah, really?
Only place it's called.
There's one.
Out the other side of Point Bay.
That's our brim there now, I reckon. I think we've just jinxed ourselves.
No,
Nah. I got a couple off the pier, a couple decent ones.
Okay.
I think it's another flatty. It's not a bad fish, that one. What do we got? Oh, it's a better flatty actually. Much better flatty. I think that one's a dusky. Come on, mate, up come. Nice. Yeah, that one's a dusky. Hey, friend. Cool. Chill. Nice, little dusky that time.
That's a good one.
That's a better one, yeah. He'd be a couple taker flathead though. Not big enough to actually take, but legally you could. How about that fucking sunset, guys? Look at that. Where would you rather fucking be, hey? Righty-roo, guys. We're back where we were yesterday. I think it's just prior to midday. We've got a slightly outgoing tide. Maybe it has already turned. In fact, there is a chance it has. What we're going to do is paddle out, look for some flathead. We caught him yesterday on baits, so I'm thinking my favourite little crankbait and the Daiwa spike, realistically, should have a bit of a time of it out there. So we'll get these out and see what we can't find. Nice. See how we go. Flathead, sole, definitely grunter. They'd be a chance to be down there somewhere. And yet, we're going to find one pretty much straight away here. Look at that, flatty, bang, just like that, on the crankbait. That did not take long. I think that's a flatty. It's not really fighting like anything. What do we got? It's a little flatty? He's only just starting to kick off. Oh, that's not good. We don't want that. That's not down there for you. Give me this and don't do that again, alright? Oh, he didn't get it. Oh yeah, he came back, he came back. He came back. Probably another whiting then, I would imagine. Did that just get bumped too, or are these tangled? Probably makes more sense that they're tangled. No, that's two fish. I reckon that's two fish. That's a whiting on a hard body, because why not? I wonder if it's still there. I don't think so. Oh, actually it might be. I think it's swimming towards us. Another little whiting, is it? No, that one is a flatty. That one is a flatty. Sandies. Nice. Well, fantastic, fun little start here, guys. Man, these sandies are fucking stunning. They are so pretty. I never realized before. I've only caught a handful ever, but goddamn, they are so fucking pretty. Hey, so as you guys might know, I'm a massive fan of horror movies. I have been for a long time. They used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid, but I've been a big horror movie fan for quite some time now. And anyway, recently I decided I'd make a top 10 favorite horror movies of all time list. So I figured that'd be something cool to do on the show, something a little different. When I was building this, I looked up obviously top 10 top 10 best horror movies of all time and all that stuff on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and all that shit. And I found that, it was very rare that I ran into a list that even had one of my favorites on it for the best. So it is worth noting these are my favorites, not movies that I think are the best. It's not a top 10 best horror movies of all time. The metric I've used is the films that have elicited the most emotion in me when I've seen them. So films that have, it might be fear, it might be just like puzzlement, it might be fucking, a range of emotions, shock, all that stuff. So I've built my top 10 based on that. So anyway, without further ado, all right, so number 10 on our list is VHS from 2012. Honorable mention at number 11 that, I think on some days probably would be number 10 was Caveat. It's a really good film on Shudder. Definitely worth a peek. But anyway, VHS does sneak in at number 10. I really like it because it's an anthology film, and I find those much more gripping than movies sometimes. So it's basically 5 kind of short films all rolled into one overarching narrative. And it's shot found footage style, which you'll see on this list, I find super immersive. It's just the style that scares me the most because it feels relatable, and it's very easy for me to empathize with the characters and their decisions and what they're experiencing and feeling, because essentially, you're seeing it firsthand. The first and second short films in VHS are much stronger than the last ones, which is why it does finish down at 10, and the sequels and stuff they made for the VHS film were not very good. There were some okay ones, some shining lights, but most of it was pretty ass. But VHS is pretty great if you fancy, something you don't have to pay too much attention to. It's a really fun horror movie. He came and ate it after I'd missed the other one. So clearly, what is he? Sandy? Yeah, little Sandy. Don't play dead, you're fine. Grow up. Oh, straight away. Look at that. Hardly moved. We probably can't go much tighter drag on these, hey? Considering a lot of these are not big fish. A little wintry. Hey, mate. Yeah, fish. Oh, no, has he come off? No, he's still there. He's only little. Another whiting. Look at this. They are all over us out here. All right, so at number 9 on our list, we have, I think, probably the greatest body horror film of all time, 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. Only thing I would say that comes close in just the genre of body horror would be The Fly. That is a fucking good movie too, but The Thing makes the list, not only because it's the shock and awe that and I'll try not to spoil, but particularly one scene does provide, but also the narrative of the movie, the plot, as it's colloquially known. The plot of the film is pretty fucking good for a goddamn horror movie. It's quite interesting and really does make you think a little bit too. It's not like psychological, like oogity boogity, oh no, make you think. But it more just like a, oh fuck, who could be infected type of thing. I think it's a fucking awesome film. High rewatchability value too. Kurt Russell is is sex on legs. That man is the most attractive human being ever. And so yeah, The Thing absolutely finds its way onto this list. Yeah, he got it. Still just a whiting though. I think maybe it's a little flatty. It's a little baby flatty. It is too. Oh no, he's wrapped himself all up. Why are you doing what you done? That's a better fish. That might be a better fish, I think. It's hard to say. I'm gonna turn around and fight him properly. We're not going to ever get through this list every time we start talking. Nah, it's still just a whiting, man. We are in some really fucking little sandy flats, and these fish are just down there absolutely loving us to bits. Alright, at number 8 we have The Last Broadcast from 1999. This one pretty much solely gets onto the list because I still remember there's one scene in it that is very profoundly scary to me. And I still remember being like 15, 16 watching it alone in my room in the dark, and it was a full blanket over the head moment, like actually fucking really got me. But anyway, I haven't seen this film in some time, so if I did see it again, it may well drop down. But I really love the aura of this film. It's the director definitely understands horror, and the film just sets the scene so beautifully. It's very kind of antsy and schizophrenic the way that it's put together, and it just feels it feels very like visceral. It's an awesome film. It does have found footage in it. It's probably, I guess you'd call it a found footage film, but it's really more a mockumentary than anything, and it switches between pretty seamlessly different elements of filmmaking too, which definitely put it on the list. A lot of people say it preceded the Blair Witch Project. It's fucking, you know, it was the first found footage horror movie. This and Blair Witch Project are nothing alike at all. This is a very different film, and it aims to do very different things as well. And I think it accomplishes them pretty well. So at number 8, we'll go with The Last Broadcast. At number 7, we have 2007's Wreck, which is something I need to keep doing, because I reckon there's fish coming here. Anyway, this is the only zombie film on my list. In fact, probably one of the only zombie films I've ever actually enjoyed. It's pretty overplayed, the zombie genre. But anyway, they did an American remake of this, as they do with most good foreign films. And it wasn't actually that bad. It was called Quarantine. It was pretty alright, but it still does not touch the original. I believe it's Spanish. But I'm not sure, I can't remember. Anyway, the film, basically, it's another found footage one. This one it's just frights. It's just fright factor and oogly booglies. That's all this film is. There's no thinking. It's a very turn your brain off and get fucking thoroughly scared type of film. There are some scenes in this that are absolutely spine tingling. It is a really fucking well-made movie. It's you know, as far as the plot goes, it's predictable. As far as the events that happen, it's not so much. And the sense of hopelessness that the characters feel towards the end, the film does such a great job of building up to that, and not just jumping straight off the deep end. It's a very subtle, you know, decline into the predicament they find themselves in. Awesome movie. Definitely one that's got some pretty good rewatch value too, if you're watching it with someone who hasn't seen it before. Definitely a good film to have a peek at that. At number 6, it is the film I've got the most shit for being on this list, and I think unfairly so. At number 6 we have 2008's Paranormal Activity. This one, okay, bear with me, alright? The remakes, the fucking sequels, terrible. Total deep end, jumped the shark, forgot what was so fucking scary about the first film, as sequels often do. But that first film, holy fuck, man, I'll never forget the first time I saw that movie. It scared the fucking pants off me. This is probably the only ghost movie on the list too, actually. Oh, no, there's another one. But it's a fucking film that understands what is scary. That's the thing. That's the thing it does so well. It's very simple in its execution, but the scariest parts of the film, everyone's seen Paranormal Activity, it's the silence. It's when nothing's happening. Lets your mind wander, makes you think, fuck, what is going to happen? You know, is this bad thing that I'm imagining going to happen? Is this other bad thing that I'm imagining? The directors in the film itself do a fantastic job of creating this monster in your mind that's 10 times scarier than what actually does happen. But you leave the film still pretty fucking scared. So there's a fish too. Another whiting, I think. Yep. Nah, little flatty. Jeez, what is this with these little sandies today? What's going on here? Alright, at number 5 on our list, we have the first of 2 Australian films. Lake Mungo, 2008. Another found footagey one, and the same things I've said for the other ones on this list definitely apply here. It's super immersive. Doesn't take long before you're already fucking sold by the premise, and you're thinking about the story, and your mind's just wandering, and you're just involved with the film. It's got some gorgeous fucking shots in this film too, for a low budget Australian horror film. It's got some really pretty shots. It's got some interesting characters too, and a really cool storyline, particularly the end. I thought was really interesting. There's a little whiting. It's not something that you really see coming throughout the film, and it sells you up the river so many different times. It really does suspend disbelief. You don't know where the film's going to go until it finally gets where it goes. And where it goes, I think, is that a flathead? That's the fucking baby Sandy. Look at that. Oh my god. And where it goes, I think, is a really beautiful place that lands. There's one scene in particular in this film too that is very, very scary. Gets me every time. So yeah, a really probably one of the more emotional, probably the most emotional, yeah, I'd say the most emotional horror movie on the list. All right, at number 4 we have Martyrs from 2008. This is a French film. I'm surprised they haven't remade it, actually. Anyway, this one is an interesting one. It's not really like any of the other horror movies on this list in terms of story or pacing. In fact, it's not really like any other horror movies in general in terms of those things. This one, it kind of has spooks in all different elements. It's got some supernatural shit, it's got some psychological shit, and it has a lot of gore too. It's really the only kind of gory horror movie on this top 10. The story, the plot to it is fucked, but increasingly interesting as the story goes along. And the end is one of those ones where you sit up late, or at least I do, I sit up late thinking about, like, fuck, how, why, like, what, I don't want to spoil it, but you think about the ending quite a bit, and in terms of what exactly went down in the ending. So definitely worth a look. If you're not squeamish. If you are squeamish, I would suggest leaving this movie well enough alone. If you like horror that's a bit smart, maybe not the movie for you, but in terms of horror movies that are just confronting, that just fucking slap you in the face and say, here, cunt, watch this, you know, it sticks in your head for a fair while after the first watch. So put on my bestest little fucking movie reviewer hat here. Do you guys like it? Am I doing good? Number 3, we've got Jaws. A few people said Jaws isn't a horror movie. Yeah, it fucking is. If Jaws isn't a horror movie, why did I not have a bath after I first saw Jaws for like a month, bro? Jaws is absolutely a horror movie. This is one of the horror movies that was on pretty much every list I saw. And I mean, really, if you're building a top 10 best horror movies of all time list, you can't be missing Jaws on there. It deserves its spot. It holds up so well even today. The characters are all so unique, and so even though they don't get heaps of screen time, they're just so fucking so well played, and you can tell there's such a love with how they were played. It's just so easy to fucking identify with certain characters, dislike certain characters, understand motivations. It's a really well done film in that sense. And I mean, honestly, the CG isn't terrible, and most of it was practical effects, which hold up beautifully. I would much rather see bad practical effects compared to good CG, to be perfectly honest. And Jaws has a lot of practical effects. Awesome film. Number 3 is almost selling it short, but I think there are 2 films that I like better. And the crazy thing about it is they've made that many shark films, that many fucking shark movies, bro, and nothing has even come fucking close to Jaws. There's no other film that even gets close to Jaws. Think, like, the next closest best shark movie was Jaws 2, and that's like still a million times behind Jaws itself. Anyway, we're probably gonna stop talking about sharks for a minute, get this fish in here. This was probably, I think this one's a sand flathead. He's a little better. Oh, it's a bloody sole. Let's go. He's a nice one too. Now, someone told me, what did he say? Soles and flounders. Oh, okay. He wants to come in the car. Hang on. Very, I really like these fish. Oh. That's why I dropped him on his head, guys. That's how I show love. Cutie. Ugly looking fish, very relatable. See you, mate. Off he goes. Number 2 on our list, my second favorite horror movie of all time. Another one most people have seen. It is another Australian film, The Babadook. I think 2014 it came out. Yeah, there's not really... Some people really don't like this film, and I don't really understand why. I understand it not being like top 10 favorites, but I don't really understand not liking it. The film does so many things right, and I don't think really anything, at least for me, wrong. It's a really beautiful interplay between, you know, grief and depression and neglect. The characters are played fantastically well. The child actor, I think, is really good in it. and it leaves you scared in parts, it leaves you sad in other parts, and it wraps everything really nicely in the end in a beautiful little bow, and lets you kind of put your perspective onto what you think the film was about. But having said that, I think the film's definitely mostly about unchecked mental illness. My personal opinion is I don't think the Babadook, quote unquote, ever exists at all. I think it's just a descent into psychosis that is not being delayed by any sort of self-help, and so I think that's especially relevant in the last scene where the Babadook is chained up in the basement. I think that is just a kind of an allegory for the fact that we can you know, bottle things up and we can move past things and we can definitely get better, but mental illness is something that it never goes away. It's always something that people have to live with that suffer, especially, you know, chronic mental illnesses, and so the Babadook is always there. You can chain it up, you can feed it worms, you can make everything good for now, but it's always going to be there, and you just have to be very aware of the red flags that come up when mental illness is not going well. So I think it's a beautiful film, absolutely gorgeous, and definitely it really spoke to me. I think I really liked the tone of the film as well. And number one, my most favorite film of all time, film in general, not just horror film, is The Blair Witch Project, 1999. Not the remake, I promise you, not the remake. The thing I love about this film is, I'm not going to explain all the lore behind it, you know, because people who like this film know what the actors had to go through and all that shit, but the thing I like about this film is there's not a shred of insincerity in it. Every single scene in this film feels like you are riding this ride along with the characters, you know. And again, it's another film that very slowly descends into hopelessness, which I think that's a good horror done well. When you're leaving the film with like this, just fucking defeated, deflated energy, I think that's good horror. But the thing that I really love about The Blair Witch Project is every single time I watch it, I get a little fucking scared. It gets me a little on edge when I go out camping, and that's a beautiful thing. I love that you'd never ever see the witch. Not once in the film do you see the witch, because the creators definitely understood there's a big stingray down there. Big fucking stingray. That thing could eat me if he wanted to. I hope we don't fucking troll past his head or we'll never get back. Fucking hell. Yeah, the thing the directors really understood is that the fear that you place upon something, the thing that you're most afraid of is what your mind is going to jump to when you're hearing crackling outside the tent, when you're hearing shit, you know, going on. And so the film never goes too far. It never descends into cheesiness. It never shows you anything that it doesn't need to show you to let you fill in the blanks for yourself. And when you're filling in the blanks for yourself, it's a fuck of a lot scarier than what they're going to present to you. So yeah, that's number one. It has been since I first saw that film, and probably will be for a very long time. So that's my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed the list and the presentation. I didn't have a script for this. This was all off the cuff, and I think it turned out pretty fucking good. So anyway, back to the fishing. We're going to keep trolling up to as far as we kind of want to. Hopefully take a couple more fish, a couple more nice flatties a bit to go. We'll see how this plays out. Why do we even need wind? Nuke the wind. Can we? Surely. That's a weird little eat, that one. I kind of don't want to catch any more fish until we get in a bit closer, because this is like an area where we're just going to fucking lose 50 meters here. Just a whiting, I think. Please just have the one hook if you're a whiting. In fact, please just come off now. It's not a whiting. Ugh, what? It's worse than a fucking whiting. What is that? Yeah, blow up. That'll make this so much easier. Oh, if you fucking crack this treble, I'll fucking crack you, cunt. Oh, my ass is killing me though. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, he's come off. Oh, he's still there. Oh, I don't really know. Is he there? Yep, he's there. He's a dog too. Maybe he's... No, he's there. He's there. He is there. The fuck is that? Oh, you're kidding me! What? I left Brisbane to get away from them, cunt. Blech. Disgusting. Blech. Disgusting, bro. Worst fish in the ocean. That's the only thing that's going to be able to get me to boat again, is if someone runs on a fucking policy of just fucking annihilation of grinner. That's their one and only policy. They're a proper fucking one. I'm a one issue voter. Do you want to fucking annihilate the population of grinner? Yes or no, cunt? Because if it's no, you're not getting my fucking vote. I will not stand for fucking centrism on the issue either. Eliminate half the grinner, eliminate 80% of the grinner, all the fucking grinner. That's it. All the grinner, you got my vote. I'll fucking go out and campaign for you. I do not care. But trolling out past the reef could well produce some kind of decent fish. Let's hope it does. Oh, is this all fucking reef as well? Fish. Yeah, fish. Just sucked onto it at the bottom. He's not bad. Just before that reef kind of started, he was right down there. We got... No. No, 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 no. Yep. Fish. Good little grab and eat. Not so bad. It's not big though. Could be just a little whiting. Please just not a grinner. Please just not a fucking grinner or I'll blow my head off. If it's a whiting, he's not a half bad one, I don't think. Although we are still paddling, so... What do we got? It is a whiting. It is a whiting. That's good. It means we're back on the sandbank, hopefully. Absolutely having a time. Oh yeah, there's a fish. There's a fish. God damn, these... I think that's another whiting, you know? I think that's another goddamn whiting. These fish absolutely love the spike, man. Absolutely love the spike. We can't stay down there long enough to find a goddamn flathead. That's one of the better ones of the day. Yeah, there's a fish. Not big, obviously. Is it a whiting? You bet your ass it's a whiting. You bet your ass it's a fucking whiting, man. No. That's a fish. That's a fish and a nice one. There we go. That's what we wanted. That is a good fish. I'm not sure what that is, but that sucked it down on the bottom and is heavy as balls. I think that's our good flighty. It is heavy as. I know there's reef down there, so I don't want to get too tight just in case. I don't know what this is. It is not really fighting like a flatty. Right on the edge of this reef. What have we hooked? I'm not sure what this is, guys. It's big. It's big. I'm still thinking it's a big flatty. I don't know. Is that a flatty's head shake? It hasn't run, which is interesting. It's just been sitting down there deep on the bottom. I don't know. I'm really confused. We're certainly deep enough for this to be something interesting. Just outside this reef. Finally the spike grabs a nice fish. Stay on, please. Stay on. Oh man, look at these head shakes. What have we hooked? It's really weird. I'm not sure. Hey, here we go. It's a cod, and a nice cod. Holy shit. We will say yes to that, sir. We will say yes to that. That's a beauty. On the 3 pound. Come here, mate. Come on, mate. Come over here. Come on. Over here. Come on. Oh, yes. Woohoo. That's a beauty. That's a stonker. On the spike. I thought we were running past snags, but we were just running past a couple rocks on the ground where these cod like to hang out. And that is a fucking beauty on the 3 pound. How about that for a 3 pound fish, guys? Why not? I like a risk.